Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jen and welcome. It's really good to see you here on YouTube. So today's video is a Cricut Design Space tutorial and I'm going to show you how to use this engraving tip. I'm going to be making a fun little decor item for my kitchen, so I thought I'd bring you along. So if you are ready to learn how to use the engraving tool for the Cricut, go ahead and hit the like button, grab your favorite beverage, settle on in, and let's get crafting.
All right, so I am in Cricut Design Space, and this is where we are going to design our project for the acrylic round that we're going to use. So one of the first things that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a circle. Actually, I'm going to grab 3 circles. And I'm going to go ahead and close this up. So one circle, I am going to go to the operation menu and I'm going to go down here to guide. And this is what I'm going to use to kind of size everything that I'm doing. And I'm going to change the size up here to 3.5. So this is going to act as the piece of acrylic and this will not cut on the maker. The next circle I am going to size at 3, and this will be adhesive magnetic sheet, and I'm going to cut out a 3-inch circle that will go on the back of the acrylic so that it'll attach to my dishwasher. You could also just use little button magnets that you pick up from Walmart, Target, Dollar Tree. Really any kind of magnet that you want to put on the back of this would be fine. I'm going to have a 3rd circle here. I'm going to change this one to like a pink color because I'm going to be placing a rose gold circle behind the acrylic so that the acrylic engraving shows up a little better. And I want to size this at 3.4. Okay, so I'm going to set these 2 off to the side because I don't need them. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to go into images and I'm going to pull up a bookmark line flourish. That is literally what I typed in earlier, was something called line flourish. So I will click on the plus sign and bring that in, and then I'm going to bring in 2 text boxes. All right, so we need 1 text box to say dirty, as in dirty dishes. Then we're going to go change the font. Now this font right here, 212 Baby Girl, I will see if I can find where I got this and I will link it down in the description. I will also be placing the link for this entire project file in the description as well so you can recreate this. Now before I forget, I'm actually going to take the word dirty and I'm going to flip it vertically so that it is upside down. When I have clean dishes, the word clean will be right side up. Okay, so when I have my whole entire acrylic put together, dirty will be here and then clean will be right here. It will go on the top. I'm going to go ahead and change that font as well to 212 Baby Girl. Then I want to start building this out. Now the first thing that I want to do is I want to take this right here and I'm going to size it down. I'm going to make it let's make that 3.4, and I'm going to change this to engrave just like that. So that's going to be important. I want this over here. The word clean will come up here and the word dirty will be down here. I also need to flip this horizontal. There we go. That makes more sense. Okay, so we have clean and then we have dirty. I'm also going to move this up a little bit. All right, let me take a look at that. I'm going to put the word dirty flush with this line right here. I'm going to put the embellishment about 1 line. So it ends here. I'll put it right above that line there. And then clean, I'll leave about 1 line of space. All right, I'm going to go ahead and select all of those. I'm going to do align and center horizontally. All right, and then I want to attach all of those. And then I'm going to just double check my sizing. All right, I think what I'm going to do is make this just a little bit smaller. I don't know that it needs to be so ginormous. So 3 inches wide. So when I select all of them and I go to align and center, this is what it will look like when it comes out. Okay, I need to take the clean itself and I need to change that to engrave. I need to come over here, grab the word dirty and change that to engrave. So everything is set for engraving. Two things we can do. We can leave this where it is just an outline and it would go relatively quickly. I actually want it to show up a lot more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the lines with a fill pattern. So in order to get that, let me save this first. Okay, I don't want my hard work to go anywhere. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit and I'm going to click on the 3 arrows and new window. Here's my new Cricut window. And the purpose of this is to come in here. I'm going to go to my stuff and I'm going to go to bookmarked projects. And then right here, this says foil or engrave fill starter. And this was created by Kay Hall. And I'm going to open this file right here and I'm going to click on edit a copy. Okay, so what she has created is a 5x7 box that has a bunch of fill lines. Like, I mean, look how that's there. That's a lot of lines. So what this will do is this will fill in our engraving. So now that this is selected, I'm going to copy this, so Command C or Control C, depending on the computer you're using. And then I will go find my original Cricut window and I will just paste it in. So Control V or Command V. Okay, so now that I brought this in, I'm going to move this template out of the way and I'm going to come up here to this image here. All of this is 3 different layers and it's attached. I'm actually going to unattach it, which I could leave it attached, but I'm going to unattach it and I'm going to leave it all selected. Then I'm going to come to combine and I'm going to hit weld. And this is going to make it 1 layer. So it went from 3 layers being attached to 1 layer. And now I'm going to bring this over here. Okay, so I have 2 different layers. This layer right here, I'm going to change this to engrave as well. So everything's in engrave. I am going to grab the weld here, this box, and change it to engrave. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab all of that and then I'm going to go to slice. It's going to take a minute. Okay, so once it has done that, we have basically 3, this one can go away. We have 3 clean and dirty images. And I'm going to blow this up so you can see it. So we have this one here, and this one here, and they're all the same. When you zoom out, you just kind of pick the one that you think looks the best. Quite frankly, I don't think it matters in this case. The big takeaway is that once you do your slicing, to make sure that it says engrave on it. Okay, so now I have my engraving is going to be here. The adhesive vinyl will be behind, and I think I'm going to make that a little bit smaller actually. And then I will have this magnet and that will be behind there. I'm going to hide the template. I don't need it anymore. And for right now, I am going to hide these 2. I will cut those off screen to save time. This is ready to go. Now before I go to the make screen, I'm going to do one thing just to double check. I'm going to go to rotate and I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees and see how that word dirty is now the right side, that it's readable. It'll be perfect. Okay, so everything's ready to go. Now, do not need the guide. I'm going to get rid of that. For visualization purposes, I'm going to let this particular circle go to the make screen. Then this one here will be my magnet. Okay, so let me show you something that I think is very handy. So when we go to the make screen, this is the engraving. This is going to be the magnet. Now I'm going to leave this right here and I'm going to leave it that color because the magnet is that charcoal gray. I'm going to come down here to this pink mat and I am going to cut the adhesive vinyl circle just like this. This will be adhesive vinyl, but for right now, I'm going to move the object, bring it to the front mat, and I'm going to use it for placement purposes. I am going to move the clean and dirty out of the way, and then I am going to try and center this as best as I can to where the middle is going to be lining up where, so I have a vertical 3 and I have a horizontal 3, and I'm just arbitrarily choosing that. I'm going to try and get this as centered as possible. Now that actually looks pretty good. So then I'm going to bring this in. I want this embellishment line along the horizontal 3. I'm going to see if I like that. It looks like there's a little less space here and here, so I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to bring this down just a bit. And then I'm going to have to remind myself when I put this on the mat to center it on the 3 and 3, and then bring it down just ever so slightly. And that way it'll be as centered as possible. Okay, so I'm going to leave the clean and dirty where it is, and then I'm going to click back on the circle, and I'm going to move it back here to the pink. And notice it does put it where I had it. Isn't that fun? That's kind of a fun feature, is when you move, once you put something on your mat, when you move it to another mat, it goes in the exact same spot on the new mat. I'm going to move this back in that corner, so that will get cut out, this will get cut out, and this will be my engraving. Before we go to the overhead camera and get our mat ready and get this engraved, I'm going to click continue, and this is going to connect to my maker. Okay, once it's connected to my maker, I'm going to go to browse all materials, and I'm going to just type in ACR for acrylic. My acrylic round is actually an ornament. It has a hole in it. You can get the ones that are thinner that don't have a hole in them, but I'm really just shopping my craft space. So I'm going to choose the 2mm thick. I did measure that with my ruler earlier. Click on done, and then this is going to be default pressure. That is fine. I'm going to be using the engrave tool in clamp B. Once we get all of that loaded in, then I'll be pressing the flashing arrow button, and then when prompted, I will hit the go button. So let's go ahead and go to the overhead camera, and we're going to get this all cut out. And then I will be coming back off camera to do the magnet and then the adhesive. So this will be premium vinyl glossy, and then this one here, this one will be magnetic sheet, and it'll be the 0.5mm for materials. All right, so the materials that we're going to need for the project are a strong grip mat. So I have my purple mat here. I have the acrylic. These are acrylic 10-piece package from Hobby Lobby. These are 3.5 inches in diameter, and they are 2mm thick. I do have my brand new engraving tip and quick swap housing. I have some painter's tape, and you can use painter's tape, you can use masking tape, like whatever you have on hand is fine. I do have a pair of scissors, and then I have some of my favorite rose adhesive vinyl that I'll be putting on the back. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to move these items out of the way, and we're going to talk about the quick swap housing. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. Okay, so your embossing and some of your other blades. And can you see that little 41 right there? Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so this is the engraving tip. And this, if you push the plunger down, just like your other Cricut blades, this comes off, and then I can change out and put on things like the debossing tip, the wavy one. Let me roll this in here. Boy, I love having wheels on the bottom of my Cricut. Okay, so then I'm going to open this up, my Maker 3. I'm going to go ahead and remove the fine point blade, and I'm just going to set it right there. The quick swap housing, so it has a plastic cover around here, and then it has these grooves. So it kind of has an open area, and that is going to go toward the back. So the clear plastic here is toward the front, and then the open part of that clear plastic is facing toward those gold gears in the maker. So we got that in there. It's ready to go. All right, so now we're going to get our mat ready. I'm going to roll this back out of the way. I'll go ahead and move that up. Grab my mat. I'm going to open up these acrylic rounds. On the front, I'm going to very carefully remove this little film. Now there is a film on the back side, and I'm going to leave that there for right now. And then I'm going to come and put this on my mat. Now remember, the 3 line right here was the embellishment line, and then I need the center. I'm going to use the little hole that's here at the top. I'm going to go ahead and use that and get this as centered as I possibly can. And until I press it down, I can actually move it around a little bit. Okay, I think that looks pretty centered. So I'm going to go ahead and press that down really good on my mat, and you can see it's not moving. However, I am going to come in here and put painter's tape, and I just want to go around the very edge of my acrylic round. And I'm just barely grabbing the edge of the round with the painter's tape. So I think that looks great. Okay, so now I'm going to roll back in my machine. And to be honest, I have no idea how long this is going to take. The video will be speeded up for you, so it won't take very long for you, but for me, I will probably just find something to do like a mid-craft cleanup or preparing the next craft while the engraving is happening. If I was just doing the lines, the outlines, and not doing a fill, it would probably go relatively quickly, but because I'm doing the fill lines, I think it will take a while. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the flashing arrows, click on that button there. One thing that I did forget, all these little white wheels need to be all the way over here. There we go. Okay, so make sure you do that before you stick this into the machine. So let's try this again. Okay, now that everything is loaded and ready, the play button is flashing. So I will go ahead and hit that play button and let this run while I do some other things in the craft room. Okay, so you can see that this is all done. Before I take it off the mat, it took about 17 minutes. So that was a great use of time to clean the craft room, grab some coffee, all the things. All right, one last cleanup. You could also use a lint roller if you had the lint roller. Okay, so now I am going to place this here so that you could see it. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you. That looks really good. So here's clean and here's dirty. And I would say that I did a pretty good job getting that fairly centered. Now, full disclosure, I did one of these earlier and I totally messed it up. Couple of things. What do you notice here? This is right side up. So when I spin it, the word is upside down. So this was a good test run. I'm just chalking this up to a learning experience. And when I put the vinyl on the back, I didn't take my time and do a good job. So I got some bubbles in there. But this basically was a great learning experience. So I am just going to be tossing this. And then off camera, I did go ahead and I cut out the magnet and the adhesive circle. So the magnetic sheet, they're super thin. Okay, and I do put these on the strong grip mat and do painter's tape in the corners just to make sure that it doesn't move anywhere. And I use this deep point blade for the cutting. And as far as design space, the setting I use, I do search up magnetic, choose magnetic sheet 0.5. It works great. It does about 3 passes to cut that out for you. I did replace the fine tip blade back in to just cut my normal adhesive vinyl in this beautiful rose color. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this put together. I'm going to put this on last, and I'm going to put this on next. I'm going to turn this over and very carefully, I'm going to remove this backing off of here. Now you can see how really clear and clean that is. I'm super excited about this. Okay, so I'm going to move that off to the side. I'm going to weed this out. So this is just adhesive vinyl of choice, and I chose just to do a circle instead of anything fancy. I'm going to grab a piece of transfer tape, and I'm going to make sure that there are no bubbles in here this time. So, word of note, this is the Hello Hobby strong or standard grip transfer tape. I just picked it up at Walmart one day, just as a, to keep it as a backup. And y'all, this is really strong. It's actually pretty impressive. It works pretty good. So if you ever find yourself in the need to get some backup transfer tape, this does a great job. Okay, I'm going to turn this over. To the best of my ability, I'm going to get this centered. Then pull this off. And let's see, it looks like I have a tiny little bubble here. All right, so here is the clean and dirty. I'm going to go ahead and pull off the backer of this little magnet here. This makes it super easy, lots of surface area. Okay, well, this is our awesome little magnet for our dishwasher. I hope that you found this video was informative and helpful, and that it just shows you how you can be able to make really cool designs. You can do bookmarks and magnets and ornaments, all kinds of things. So I'm really excited about the opportunities that this tool is going to open up. If you did find this helpful in any way, don't forget to hit that like button, share this with your crafty friends, and if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. I do try to post a video at least once a week, and I like to just share not only the crafts that I'm making, but I also try to bring tutorials to the channel that are helpful for anyone from a beginner Cricut crafter to even a seasoned Cricut crafter. So until I see you in the next card or craft, as always, have an amazing day and happy crafting.
Thank you all so much for watching today. I'm so glad that you can join me at my craft table. If you're not already, I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you'll know when new videos arrive. Have a great day, and as always, happy crafting.